What's up, guys? Your boy TGK here, and today we're going to talk about this triggering clickbaity article that I saw on Twitter by the Twitter handle of Mavs MoneyBall. They're talking about this dark cloud. It's going to be stormy weather because Jason Kidd is here. The article gave me this negative vibes about Jason Kidd, and so I haven't read it. I've been holding off to read it, so I'm going to read it and give you my initial thoughts of this article and see if there's anything worth reading in this article that has any bit of relevancy when it comes to the Mavericks and their entire franchise. So without further ado, let's run the intro and let's get into this article. Alright guys, so before we get into this article, I'm going to show you screenshots of what I'm reading at the time of when I'm reading it. And really, I guess I'll come out and straight up say that before I read this, the article's headline is Jason Kidd is the dark cloud hanging over the team and its season. Oh my God. Like it's so sad to be 10 and 7 and 5 games you didn't have KP and 3 you didn't have Luka, but you're 10 and 7. Anyway, who wrote this? Xavier Santos. I guess his Twitter handle is _X. No offense if I shred your article apart. That's how it goes. You shredded Jason Kidd, so I'm gonna shred you. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's get into this article. So he starts out the article with, for better or worse, sans Reggie Bullock and a couple of additions on the margins. Damn, so now this is what stocks and your portfolio. This is the same team from the past couple of seasons. What's wrong with continuity, right? Sure, many of us have roster fatigue and wish the front office would have done a better job of switching things up. But there is something else. Is it apathy? Well, no. Then why ask the question? Many of us still watch every game and live and die with every possession. So what is it? I don't know, what is it? It's almost as though there is a dark cloud hanging over the team. Wins elicit a sigh of relief versus the typical joy we felt in years prior. Losses can be easily explained and rarely leave us scratching our heads in confusion. That black cloud, turns out, is Jason Kidd, for me at least. Okay, so just his first paragraph. Roster fatigue. I understand that there's roster fatigue with maybe 1 or 2 players, right? Right now, the main 2 players we could say that is probably with Dwight Powell and Willie Cauley-Stein. But at the end of the day, when you have a team that's been around for as long as they have been, they probably built a brotherhood and they know each other a lot better from a chemistry perspective. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not saying it's the best. I do understand it. I do empathize with it, that we do want to see some kind of change here. I know we want Dragic. I know we wouldn't mind having Lauri Markkanen. I know Marvin Bagley and Buddy Hield would be great for this team, but there's only so many things you could do, and it's pulling the trigger on just one of these guys that's either marginally better or just has better potential or hasn't even reached their peak. Who knows? You just got to wait it out. There's going to be a market when the trade deadline comes around. You just got to wait it out. You got to see who the sellers, you got to see who the buyers, you got to see who the contenders, and then you could take from the sellers when they're ready to be taken from. Let's continue. Oh, before we continue on to the next paragraph, what did he say? He said, it's almost as if there's a dark cloud hanging over this team. I don't know what dark cloud he's mentioning, because I came into this season very excited about the potential the team could have, because KP obviously had a healthy offseason. So if he could reach his high potential, his maximum potential, then it makes the entire roster look a lot better. A lot of this is really just on KP because we haven't seen the greatness that he was since the bubble, or even when he was in New York. So all of this negative connotation just comes from we want to see this great KP that we haven't seen. So you're just kind of on the fence of I just want to see this now. It's you got to be patient, man. The guy's only 25 years old. Give it time. When he learns his body a lot better in his older years, as he gets near 30, I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to maintain that knee a lot better. I have confidence in that. And so far this year, the last 7 games, he's been balling out. So to write this article on the 24th, after the games that he's had the last 7 games, I don't know. I would say that whenever I see the Mavs win, I do have a lot of joy. and a lot of the Mavs fans that I've seen watch the games enjoy it, except my boy Dave. For some reason, Dave doesn't like the Mavs. Anyway, let's go to the next paragraph. Oh, and before I end that paragraph, Jason Kidd is not the black cloud in this organization. It's actually all the little Mavs fans on Twitter that like they watch every game and like they get in their feelings and they get hurt and they want to quit on the team in the first quarter, and then in the fourth quarter the Mavs are playing their ass off, and then they're like, I'm back being a Mavs fan for life. No, the dark cloud is everybody on Twitter that's so emotional about this team. It is barely 17 games into the season. Relax. It's like you mentioned the whole on the margins, a couple additions on the margins. You know, all right. If you wanna play the stock market, analogies, right? Let's play that. So because you bought into the stock early in the season and it dips, it don't mean to sell, buddy. You hodl, you hold on, because when it goes to the moon, you want to be there for that ride. It works both ways. Anyway, next paragraph. Even for those of us that talked ourselves into this team before the season, Jason Kidd was always going to be the glass ceiling. We convinced ourselves the team could win despite Kidd. I don't know who's we. As opposed to because of him. Okay, I get what you're saying. We assumed Luka, and Luka alone would dictate the style of play more so than Kidd. I don't know about that. The blueprint was right there for him. Run high, screen pick and rolls with Luka, a rim runner, and 3 shooters. Our defense would always be a question mark, but we had an efficient half-court offense to fall back on most nights. The reliance on jump shots caused a high night-to-night variance, but in games where shots were falling, we could compete with just about anyone. All right, so this is just really negative on Jason Kidd. It's basically saying Jason Kidd don't know how to run a damn offense, and that we're just going to depend on Luka. This is what I said in the other video where I talked about Jason Kidd. I love the way he's going about this year. He is making other players have to step up, run the offense when Luka does sit. And what he's doing is Luka is starting to trust Jalen Brunson more. Frank Ntilikina is getting more of a run. Even our Trey Burke. He's been in these last couple of games. Other players are getting an opportunity to run the offense, and they have to learn. But also on top of that, KP is becoming more of a playmaker. So is Kleber. So is Tim Hardaway Jr. These other players are having to learn how to create those shots or create a shot for another teammate other than Luka. And again, at the end of the day, this is going to play dividends, high yield dividends. Like, we'll stick with the stock market stuff, right? This is going to play high yield dividends in the long run. So I don't think that Luka is really the style of play, and the way we're playing is not dictated on how the way Jason Kidd is running. I actually think this is all Jason Kidd. Yes, we had a rough start offensively from an efficiency perspective, but you can't say nothing bad about the defense. The defense has improved quite a bit. And because of the offense, it's going to take time to allow other players to develop and become good at running a team or running an offense or gain the confidence to be able to run the offense like the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah, you have to pull the ball away from Luka. And although we don't, but if you do it now and you do it early and you do it often, later on in the season, in the playoffs, this team will be a lot more confident on being able to perform when Luka does sit for 3 minutes or when he sits for 5 minutes. But at the end of the game, when the game is on the line, you already know who's going to be out there. It's going to be Luka, it's going to be KP, and a plethora of other players, whatever it is. You already know what our last 6 to 7 minute lineup is going to be. Luka is going to be there, right? So before you get to that point in the game, you got to have other players that can handle that rock, that can handle that offense, and we can't always depend on Luka. So whatever Kidd is doing, I 1000% am behind, and I actually really, really like how he's going about it, because it's showing, look, Luka, you can't be this workhorse that you are. Kidd has even said it. He won't make it throughout the entire 82 games. So he is trying to alleviate all of that pressure, all of that energy that he has to spend throughout the year, and utilizing it towards the end of games and towards more so in the playoffs. Let's get to the next paragraph. Fast forward to 2021, this offense is unrecognizable on some possessions. MMB writers smarter than myself have broken down the offense in great detail, and I won't try to outdo them here. Instead, I'll focus on the feeling I get watching this team play offense. Some games, I'm apoplectic. Can you look that up for me? Apoplectic. Others, I'm filled with angst and disappointment. Let me get back to apoplectic. APOPLECTIC.
Overcome with anger.
I will defer to Xavier Santos on that word. I'm stupid, right? I don't understand certain words. Apoplectic. I don't know what that means, but I'll look it up. Anyway, extremely enraged. Also, you're really angry watching games. God damn, with the offense. Others, I'm filled with angst and disappointment. So you're in rage, and your anxiety is high, and you have disappointment. Damn. That's gotta be tough watching the Mavs game. Look, the Mavs offense is not unrecognizable. If you look at the Mavs offense the last couple of games, literally the last 7 games, right? 3 of them without Luka. Even the ones without Luka, they played okay. They competed against 2 of the top seeds in the West. They played well. Besides that, though, before Luka got hurt, the last 4 to 5 games, do you want to know what efficiency ranking they were in the NBA? Before Luka got hurt, the 4 to 5 games before that, I believe they were second or third in the league in offensive efficiency per 100 possessions. So it might not be unrecognizable, but in a league where fouling is a lot more acceptable, where you're not even going to get the foul calls, you're not going to get all the little ticky-tack calls that you used to get, the game is a lot more physical this year, it's a lot more competitive. You add that into the equation of, oh, the offense isn't scoring as high. You look at the overall points per game by all the teams, it's a lot lower than it was in previous years. And even in free throws, it's almost at like 19 free throws per game. In previous seasons, it was 28. 29, 32 free throws per game. So that's literally almost 11 to 12 points right there getting shaved off per game. So just because you don't see the high number of points that you're used to seeing with the Dallas Mavericks does not mean that their offense is unrecognizable. It's just the number that you see at the end of the game is unrecognizable. But the efficiency, before Luka got hurt, even now when he came back, the efficiency was top 3 in the league. You gotta give it time. It's just 17 games in the season. I don't understand this Mavs Moneyball. Why would you allow this article to come out? Anyway, in fairness to Kid, finally we get some fairness. He isn't the sole reason for the team's uninspiring play. Uninspiring? Have you seen uninspiring play by the Mavericks? To play defense and to play energetically like that on the defensive end, that's pretty inspiring. I haven't seen Rick Carlisle being able to pull that off since 2011. Anyway, let's get to the next sentence. Luka once again showed up out of shape and appears to be going through the motions on some plays. Reggie Bullock and Sterling Brown were billed as 40% shooters from deep, but have yet to showcase the ability to be knockdown shooters. That being said, it's hard to look at the team and believe they are being put in the best position to succeed. Touches in the post may be what Kristaps Porzingis wants, but they aren't the type of looks that he and the team need from him. I don't know about that. On defense, the strategy has yielded mixed results. On some nights, Dallas can contain opposing guards and rotate on the perimeter. On others, the Mavericks opt to run a 2-3 zone and get picked apart in crunch time by one of the greatest point guards of our generation. One game? Alright. I don't even have nothing to rebuttal here other than, yeah, Reggie Bullock and Sterling Brown ain't knocking down their shots. I mean, I believe there was Locked On Mavs that wanted Reggie Bullock to get like 40 minutes a game. Have him explain that for you. Sterling Brown, he doesn't get enough minutes to take enough shots, but he did knock down a buzzer beater the other day. And Kristaps Porzingis in the post, he's been pretty solid, and especially in his last game against the Clippers, he did his thing. So, and the whole defense yield mixed results. I will take this defense over the last 6-7 years defense that we've had. They just keep it straight there. So to say that this defense isn't performing or is not inspired by Kid, that's just kind of crazy. And of course, Luka's going to show up out of shape. He's been doing that every single season since his rookie year. So I don't think that's on Kid. That's just on Luka. So maybe write the article on Luka about his weight and about his inability to come into the league in shape to start the year. And then I could be like, yeah, you're pretty right on that. Next paragraph. Ultimately, the season is young. Thank you. And it's possible and even likely that the team's play will improve. The question is whether or not Kid has the ability to manufacture wins in scenarios where the team is outmanned and outgunned. Why would he have to be outmanned and outgunned? So if we don't have KP and Luka, like he's got to win games. Like anybody with some kind of brain would be like, yeah, we're gonna lose these games because we don't have Luka or KP. Come on now, my guy. Thus far, the answer is clearly no. The team will be fine during the regular season. If things break right, they'll finish as the 5th or 6th seed and avoid the play-in tournament. They're currently 4th. If not, they'll finish somewhere between 7th and 10th. So you got that right. You covered 5th to the 10th spot. Hey, you know, you'd rather take the field than make your own hot take, right? And hope Luka's brilliance wins them the requisite number of games to move on. It's an existential feeling where we know how the season will end and are simply running out the ground ball in the meantime. It's amazing how quickly my feelings have changed after just 16 games. It wasn't always this way. With Kawhi Leonard likely out for the season, there was plenty of reason for optimism. We all know the logic. It took a heroic performance from Kawhi for the Clippers to beat us in the first round. With our kryptonite out of the picture, we would gladly take our chances against the Western Conference contenders. That optimism and belief has since dissipated. We enter each game with a clear coaching disadvantage and a roster that might be as sick of playing with each other as we are watching them. All right, guys, that was crazy. So basically, what this guy is telling me is that we're going to either finish 5th or we're going to finish 10th.
That bitch dumb as fuck.
And he chose to take on five spots versus when I said the Mavs were going to finish top 3. And right now they're 4th. And they didn't have Luka or KP for a total of, 8 games combined? And then he points out Kawhi Leonard is likely out for the season. What does Kawhi have anything to do with the Mavericks season? Why are you even bringing up the Kawhi and the Clippers? That has nothing to do with the Mavs. And of course, yeah, if we got past the Clippers, I'd take the Mavs in their odds against anybody. They have, when everyone's at their max potential. Yeah, I posed this question to my friends the other day. If we got KP at his max potential, Luka and whatever his max potential is, I think we get it for the most part in the playoffs. Say we get Luka's max potential and the supporting cast is supportive. What do you think the Mavs, how would I say their peak is with that team? Where would you think they would end up if you get the max potential out of those 2 players and a good supportive cast? My friend Dave, that isn't a Mavs fan, I'm just fucking with him. He said that he sees a Western Conference Finals if that is the case. I myself said we could hit the finals with some luck with that scenario. So what I've been saying all along from the beginning of the year to now, that the 2 X factors are obviously Kid and KP, but the way KP is balling right now, it makes the entire roster look a lot better. We tend to forget the capabilities that KP has. The dude is really, really tall. To keep it very, very simple to you, right? Not as complex as his article was, because his article didn't know what direction it wanted to go in. It wanted to say, hey, Kid is bad, but Luka makes him look so good. But however, Kawhi is the reason we can't win. What is it? You know what I'm saying? And to say that this team is sick of playing with each other, I beg to differ. If anything, this team is more of a connected unit. They have this camaraderie with each other. And now that the whole COVID stuff is out the way, they how would I put it? They became a little more lenient with the rules. They're able to hang out more. Even Lucas said it before the year started that he wanted to be more of a leader and hang out with his teammates outside of playing games. And so overall, that's going to pay dividends. Again, back to the stock stuff. But you got to stop looking at it for the first 16 games of the season. You should have waited one more game and then wrote this article. But I'm just saying, I think all of this negative energy and all of the Twitter heartbreak kids out there, you know, oh, my Mavs, you know, the first quarter we play so bad, I'm going to stop watching the game. We have to stop being so overreacting to everything. I know my boy Lolo said it seems like all of the Cowboy fans have came over here to be the Mavs fans, and they're bringing all that same energy that they got over there when they overreact to everything over there. Mavs fans do not overreact to shit, okay? Mavs fans, we stick through thick and thin with this entire team. We don't do all this little overreaction, Skip Bayless, Stephen A, the beta stuff, okay? We don't do that. So stop doing that. Let this season marinate, and then hopefully we get better articles. But for now, that article was completely utterly uncalled for. To say that Jason Kidd is a black cloud of this organization is wild. I could name a few other people in this organization that's closer to being a black cloud than Jason Kidd is. If anything, you're attacking him for his past, and you're attacking him because you don't like him. You're probably attacking him for his Brooklyn Nets or Milwaukee Bucks tenure, and that's wrong. You gotta stop holding people against their past. Anyway, guys, it's been your boy TGK. That's been my overview or / review of the article. And without further ado, I just want to say, let's go Mavs. I'm a Mavs fan for life, and I don't play that little sucker shit. I'm gonna catch y'all next.